a number of higher education institutions. An important time to speak to them as well. I wasn't here for the question I believe that my colleague, Representative Stefanik, asked about the principal at Hillcrest. We had checked ourselves after hearing your response, Mr. Banks, seeing some of the room shaking their head strongly that this person wasn't, as a principal, removed and didn't go on in the New York education system. We came to find information that this person went to the New York Department of Education. Am I correct on that?
What's the question again? I'm not sure. That he's
the principal that from Hillcrest, yes, that you said was removed,
right,
and didn't go in, wasn't just transferred to another school in the system.
Right.
We wanted to check on that because I saw indications in this room that that wasn't
yes,
the right answer. He went to the New York Department of Education, as I understand it?
Well, all of our schools come under the Department of Education. I oversee the entire Department of Education. Yeah. We have schools, and then we have other administrative offices.
That concerns me that this guy is still in Education New York when he had an egregious response at Hillcrest. And so I just wanted to make that clear and make sure I understood it as well.
He was removed from the school, but he is still in our
But he's still in Education New York.
Yes.
And that worries me.
I understand.
Following the attack on Israel on October 7th, our nation's institutions of higher education have been rocked by anti-Semitic protests, as we're talking about, and direct harassment of Jewish students. And while a critical eye must be placed on the teachings and policies at these institutions, we can't overlook our K-12 system. And so thanks for holding this hearing today. In fact, we know that the teachers that had been trained in our higher education institutions to being change agents in the world are in our K-12 systems, and they have been for years been trained to be anti-Semitic themselves. Critical theories that they've been trained in, oppressor and oppression, and important as well, anti-American. So it's a challenge that we have to look in our K-12 system. It's during this developmental phase that students start to grasp the difference between right and wrong and critically begin to realize that other people have their own feelings that might not match theirs. If we fail students at this scholastic phase, then it's no wonder we're seeing the level of intolerance and violent rhetoric later in their studies and even in our K-12 system. I recently met with educators who have used the Morse Life Holocaust learning experience to help educate their students about the realities of the Holocaust and anti-Semitism history, and I encourage our institutions to look into that training. I'd like to pose for our educators in the room just this one question and answer as briefly as possible. What have you done specifically to teach critical thinking in classrooms and promote reason and the underpinnings of moral and civil behaviors that mitigate hate? And I guess I'll start, because I have a W for name, I'll start at the end of the table first. Ms. Ford-Morthell.
Thank you, Congressman. So this is something that we integrate in our instruction starting from the youngest of grades. First of all, we engage our students in open-ended questions and prompts that allow them to bring their ideas to the table, and then we share information with them as well, but we are not a direct teach type of organization, and so that is one way that we facilitate and actually build our students' muscle to be critical thinkers and critically engaged. We have norms in our classroom. For example, we talk to our students about being present, being respectful, being brave, being open and being aware to different perspectives, being flexible and being sensitive. So it's a muscle that they build throughout their grades in Berkeley Unified School District. And of course, we teach them to be critical consumers and evaluate and analyze the information that's coming to them through a number of perspectives so that ultimately, again, they can make decisions on their own.
We'll hope we'll see the impact of that in an exemplary way. So, Ms. Silvestre.
Yeah, similarly, I'm not a teacher or principal or superintendent myself. As a school board member, it's my understanding that we follow the Maryland State curriculum, the Maryland State standards. We have a comprehensive curriculum that integrates critical thinking throughout, offering multiple perspectives so that students can see history and facts through different perspectives. That's my understanding, sir.
Mr. Banks.
First of all, critical thinking starts with learning how to read. And we have leaned into a very significant way with our NYC Reads and making sure that all kids are on grade level, Beyond that, we have a wide range of things from Socratic method to project-based learning, all of that. And finally, I would also like to say, sir, that, I would be careful to casting aspersions on an entire system. We have some teachers who have had some of these challenges, but we've had members of Congress who've made anti-Semitic statements, and I certainly would not cast aspersions on this entire institution. Similarly, I would stand in defense of New York City educators as well. We have some, and when we see they rears its head, we deal with it.
Well, I would stand with you on that, but I also think that
the gentleman's
we ought to fire
time
some
has
people as
expired.
well.